Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about a rumor from an alleged Doctor Who insider over on Fandom Pulse, claiming that the reason they got rid of Ncuti Gatwa was twofold. It was his politics, the fact that he was very political, and he wanted to leave because he was afraid his career was being destroyed by the Doctor Who ratings.
But destroyed by his own stupidity.
Well, he told the fans to go touch grass, right?
And they did. Like, you know, you're an arrogant asswipe, and that's why people just didn't like you.
But what's really interesting from this is that they said he's effectively banned from the Doctor Who franchise going forward, and that was part of, I guess, the negotiations for him exiting, right? And that kind of reminds me of what happened with Christopher Eccleston.
Wait, you're so toxic that we can't have you anywhere near the franchise.
We can't have you anywhere near the franchise. Eccleston, now he left on his own after a season because he could not get along with Russell T Davies and producers over there.
Fans can't get along with him either now. So
yeah, so let's talk about this. And again, this is take it with a grain of salt. It's coming from Fandom Pulse. They got it from someone who they claim is a legit insider. And there have been a lot of Doctor Who leaks that have come to pass. So this does jive with everything that we've seen, and just the just how bizarre it was that he left as soon as he did, in the way that he did, and that they quickly replaced him with Billie Piper, and they had like no plan for her.
Yeah, it was weird.
All of it's weird. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
A woohoo?
Go out to news.clownfishtv.com, sign up for notifications, sign up for paywall content, please. News.clownfishtv.com. This comes from Fandom Pulse. Doctor Who insider reveals the real reason why Ncuti Gatwa suddenly quit the show. All right, so again, this is somebody they said, I believe, has been correct in the past. They got an email. Okay, we actually received an email from Bad Wolf directly telling us our information was an error. Ncuti was contracted all the way through 2028 when they broke that he was going to leave. We're proven right about Gibson leaving. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're trying to do damage control.
Oh, they always are trying to do damage control. Don't believe what your eyes are showing you.
Yep. Davies even went out and gave an interview saying he'd written all of season 3, which he'd done with Gatwa in mind for the character. And, to try to tell people that...
You can say that. Doesn't mean that they're going to actually let him be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't mean he didn't do that. It just means that doesn't mean they're keeping Gatwa either. Like, two things can be true at once.
Well, they're trying to do damage control because it did leak out that Gatwa was going to leave, that Millie Gibson was going to leave, that the show was basically done. And, we'd speculated, and again, it was speculation on our part, knowing how Disney operates, that they were not going to bankroll more Doctor Who because they don't even own it, and they were cutting back on their own stuff, on Disney Plus. Anyway, this seems to be the same insider, right? So this is what happened, according to the insider. So take it up with them. Ncuti Gatwa quit Doctor Who for several reasons. Relations between him and the higher-ups became strained due to both professional and political disagreements. Now, Ncuti Gatwa has gotten more and more political. Right before he was supposed to go be the MC on, was it the Eurovision show or whatever it was?
Yes.
He was at a pro-Palestine demonstration, and apparently, if I remember correctly, he was having a fit because they had an Israeli group, and he didn't want to be associated with that, so they had to replace him with somebody else. So that's not going to go well with the BBC. They're like, because he wouldn't do that, and they had to replace him at the last minute, if I remember correctly. So this again kind of jives with it. One of the political disagreements came from the BBC, who didn't want Ncuti to be overly vocal on current affairs and discussions. Notice is almost radio silence.
You're chasing off the audience to stop talking.
Exactly. But they bring back David Tennant, who's like going hard in the paint now too, Notice is almost radio silence throughout his tenure with no interviews or real active social media presence outside the show. They probably told him not to. The BBC is aware of the media storm it would cause for them if the lead actor of their most valuable property in Doctor Who was engaging in controversial political discourse.
Well, he was the whole time, and you kind of encouraged it until you saw that it bit you in the ass.
Yes. Ncuti was also embarrassed at the terrible viewership numbers his episodes were receiving.
You should be.
Yes, and began to feel his career might be in serious jeopardy if he didn't make a quick U-turn on his originally planned 3 seasons.
Let me get this straight. So basically, to sum it up, he signed on. They probably went uber political because he was pushing for it. And you had Davies, and because the two of them, they're like, they tell the audience, fuck off, we don't want you, go touch grass. The audience says, okay, your terms are acceptable. Yeah. And so they did really shitty. And then after it came to pass that what we could have told them was going to happen, he didn't like it because it was going to hurt his career, so he bailed.
Yes.
Imagine telling the audience touch grass doesn't work. I mean, who'd have thunk it? Telling them acting like they're all bigots and they're idiots while you prance around as Doctor Who in a skirt, or dress or whatever the hell weird fucking outfit he had on that week, and you're pushing agenda and you're like the planet of the incels and all that.
Planet of the incels.
And you surprise, shocker, the audience doesn't want that. On a Doctor Who show. On Doctor
Who, which is supposed to be a family show. Doctor Who's supposed, I mean, it's scary and it's, science fiction.
I wouldn't even
science
watch
fiction,
it.
But yeah, a lot of people weren't watching it. And they, again,
I
told people.
I usually watched it. I tuned out. I'm like, frick, I'm not watching any of this shit. No.
You told people, both him and the actor that played the maestro or whatever, that they told people, don't watch our show. And if you leave, if one straight white male leaves, we're going to get 10 more diverse people.
That's what they said. Yes.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Shocker, I tell you.
And I remember watching, they were talking to a bunch of Doctor Who fans on, I think it was Radio Times or one of these publications. And they were interviewing like the current group of Doctor Who fans. And they were all like Gen Z and millennial, they, thems, except for like one 70-year-old dude who was a 70-year-old guy who was holding out hope that Doctor Who would get good again.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, the ship has sailed.
They keep doing this. Disney does this all the time too. You have something that you acquired in their case. You have a core audience that's kept it around for years. There are certain expectations meant for a show.
Yeah.
And then you like go after this imaginary new audience that, by the way, doesn't really exist. No. And then you chase off everyone who kept it going, and then you're left with nothing.
That is just piss poor business. I mean, look at this. Like,
who
in their right mind, you cast the widest net, especially a show like Doctor Who or Star Wars or something like that, right? And you basically chase off the potential to appeal to 95% of the demographic to chase 5% of a demographic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the most ridiculous situation. But we see it all the time with these franchises. They're like, yeah, we're going to chase off all the normies and get it down to, only 5% of people are interested in our show now or our product or a game or whatever. And then we're going to be like, oh my God, guys, why isn't anybody going to support our stuff? Why aren't they buying things?
I don't know.
It's like it's not sustainable to appeal to 5% of the audience.
The lack of common sense just blows my mind. Like, I can't even, and how many years of this does it take for you to figure out that you're being stupid and you are not the voice of the fans?
I think what happens is they listen to social media, and social media amplifies the craziest voices, and it also gives the appearance.
Well, if you hang out on Blue Sky and Reddit,
Yeah, and I think Twitter for the longest time, I think these boomers at these companies are like, well, since it's trending on Twitter that everybody wants a pansexual, bisexual, Doctor Who, then in a skirt, then yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's like, what?
Yeah, you had that. It was called, Jack Harkness. I mean, come on.
All right. They said, the reason he left, his official reason was exhaustion. He was like, I'm getting too old for this. My knees are weak. It's like, bitch.
You're one of the youngest ones.
He was literally, one of the youngest doctors. It's like Pierre Capaldi didn't even start till he was in his 50s. I'm like, shut up.
Is it from sucking Davies all the time?
Oh my God. There's also, this is what shocked me. Notice how I didn't even miss a beat. You're talking about like sucking Davies. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on
you're
there.
Doing better. Go ahead.
All right. There is now also a total mutual agreement in place. Now, again, we can't verify this. This is coming from the insider talking to Fandom Pulse. So,
right.
But this would track.
It's all hearsay rumor.
It's hearsay rumor. But if it's true, I don't think this has ever happened before. There's also a total mutual agreement in place between both parties that Ncuti Gatwa will legally never return to Doctor Who in any capacity, and that includes Big Finish Audio, the show itself. So you won't see Davies.
They're just going to bury it. If it's true, they're just burying it.
Kind of like Netflix She-Ra. We never mention it again.
Yeah.
Mattel just buried it, and they're bringing all kinds of classic She-Ra stuff back, but they're never going to mention Netflix She-Ra again.
Nope.
So that's the way to go, Ncuti. You're the Netflix She-Ra of Doctor Who. The reason for this extreme measure is being kept under wraps. There's also some resentment and disgruntlement from certain crew members towards Ncuti for exiting the role so suddenly and leaving them with uncertainty about any future work on the show. Yeah, they thought they had at least 3 seasons. And now Disney only agreed to bankroll 2, but now they're out of Doctor. And Davies was even like, oh yeah, we just threw Billy Piper in.
It's a placeholder, basically.
As a placeholder. And we don't even know if Billy Piper's the Doctor or if it's, Bad Wolf or if it's the Moment or what, what they didn't know. He probably just called her up as like, hey, I'm.
The fact that there's so many things that it could be just tells you how convoluted and it's jumped the shark.
Yeah.
At this point, it's jumped about 10 sharks at this point.
It's not just one shark, 10 sharks, space sharks.
That's right.
They're bigger than normal sharks. As for the future of the show going forward, again, this is the insider, there are some interesting rumors going around that Disney ended their partnership many months ago with the BBC. And the reason there's a delay in official announcement is because the BBC and to some extent Disney want to avoid any negative press around the show being a failure and having an uncertain future.
Because it kept trying to say that it wasn't a failure. If you look at the ratings this way and you look sideways and you squint, it's doing great because TikTok was really happy with the one song. And then they don't want to admit failure because everybody kept telling them this is not going to go the way they think and it's not going to work. And they just tripled down. Like, you got the timeless children, everybody's pissed. Let's just double down on that shit and then to throw some more shit on top of it. What could go wrong? You over-fertilize the ground and now nothing will grow. Because it's covered in shit, but it's not the good kind of shit. It's like toxic shit.
It's covered in toxic shit from those space sharks. The BBC actively is looking to find and announce a new streaming partner alongside the news of Disney not renewing the deal to try to spin as a positive. Yes, companies do this all the time.
Yep, especially Disney.
Especially Disney. So we knew when the ratings weren't what Disney probably wanted. The show looked, to its credit, the Disney Plus version of Doctor Who looked very expensive. And that's about all it had going for it.
This means it has flushed more money down the drain.
Right. So Disney is, of course, paring back. They're not spending as much on streaming. They overspend on streaming, and they don't own Doctor Who. So why would you dump more money into a show you don't own? So especially if it's not pulling any ratings, and shows that they've produced themselves with IP that they own, like Willow, they purged from the platform to take a tax write-off.
Right.
So
guess what? When you spread unfertile shit all over Willow, it doesn't work either.
It doesn't work either. Yeah. So they were looking for another partner. I'm guessing I think I heard Amazon or Netflix, but I'm like, I don't even know. Netflix, maybe if they're, they've got extra money and they just feel like flushing it. But I could see Amazon, maybe. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to rein it in too. All these companies, that's the thing. Like, good luck with that because they're all trying to rein it in, and they're probably thinking to themselves, we could spend money on more Doctor Who that nobody's going to watch, or we could just, pick up like 10 anime series or K-dramas that we know people are going to watch.
Right. I know I will.
Doctor Who is very expensive.
Let's do that instead of wasting money on blue hair fertilizer.
Yeah, right. Interestingly, the BBC are still trying to find a suitable partner. This is the reason why the new spin-off series has been delayed. They want to have this news in place around the time the spin-off is ready to air. So basically, they want to be able to say, hey guys, good news, bad news. Bad news is Disney is no longer going to co-produce Doctor Who. Good news, Amazon is going to produce Doctor Who. But as time drags on, people are going to be asking more and more questions. And Russell T Davies is even like, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Who knows? So this is very, very interesting. If it's true, I don't think that's ever happened before. They've banned someone from playing the Doctor in The Big Finish, but they're just like, yeah, you're not allowed to be anywhere near Doctor Who. It's so bad that we don't want you anywhere near this franchise.
I just don't look at She Got One Thing Big Finish, but that's just me.
Maybe Russell does. I don't know.
Well, he says his knees hurt, so.
Oh, God. So there we go, guys. We're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.